Hey everyone, Rick here, and folks, welcome back to another Battlefields of Mana unit review, and oh yeah, we are looking at some Mercenaries. And that's even in their name too, even though they are just strictly a unit type known as Mercenary, but these are specifically the Mercenary Crossbows. These are one of the best ranged units in the game, especially if you don't want to be afraid to stick them where they may end up in close combat as well. So what makes a mercenary unit a mercenary unit? Because of course we have the Lunar Knights, Regal Guard, all their forces. We have the Marauders, all their different unit types. And then we have these mercenary units, a bunch of different mercenary units. The thing that makes mercenary units unique is you can only field one of each mercenary type in your army at a given time. So, unlike, you're building a Lunar Knight army, you can have up to 4 archers, up to 4 light cavalry, whatever the case may be. You may want to include a unit of mercenary crossbows. That's cool, but you can only include one of them. Now, of course, you can include multiple different mercenary units, but only one of each. Additionally, because of that, they do typically pack a little more bang for your buck. Also, you have to earn the right to even field them. What does that mean? Well, these mercenaries are a little skeptical about who hires them, so you have to beat them in battle first. What that means is get an opponent, they're going to build a marauder army. They will include a unit of the mercenary type that you want to use in future battles. So in this case, you want to use, let's say, mercenary crossbows. So you'll stick a unit of mercenary crossbows in a marauder army that you will play against. And if you beat them, you will then have the option in all future battles of including mercenary crossbows in your army. If you're a Regal Guard fan, it might look something like this. Stick a little Regal Guard generic banner bearer in the unit. So why may you want to include mercenary crossbows? Well, let's run down the stats. And I mean, just wait, this is pretty impressive. So first of all, attack dice 2. Normally, for pretty much all other ranged units, it's always been 1. Because don't forget, you get that back rank of supporting attacks. This is a unit that is going to be shooting 9 dice, 2 for every figure in the front rank and 1 for each supporting figure in the back rank, assuming you haven't taken casualties. +1 in range, just like crossbows. 9 dice, all +1. Are you kidding me? Armor 2. Also notice there was no negative combat strength or defense in close combat. Archers, crossbows, they're all -1 in melee. These guys, look at those huge axes they're also wielding. They are not afraid of close combat. So they are +1 combat strength in range, but there are no penalties for melee. Armor 2, which is double what the armor was for archers and crossbows, so that means only 3s or better will hit these guys. No defensive abilities, but also no defensive disabilities. Range 8, movement 3, so because of all that equipment, they are a little slower. They're moving 3 inches, or they can forego their combat that turn and move twice and move up to 6 inches. Initiative of +2, so they even have better initiative than most other ranged units. So when they're in close combat and they're rolling to see who goes first, they get to add 2 to their initiative die result. Health of 2, so every figure in the unit has 2 HP, so every 2 wounds the unit takes, you will remove one of the figures as a casualty. And then they have the volley special ability, so they do not have the move to fire disability. These guys can march and shoot and be just as accurate if they move during the turn. And they have volley. If you remember volley, during a ranged attack, any 6s that you roll explode. Every 6 you roll is another die you get to roll. So if you roll your attack dice and you roll 3 6s, well, you get 3 more attack dice. Roll those. If any of those are 6s, roll more dice. That chain can explode forever, potentially. How much does all this cost? 5 points. I mean, that sounds like an absolute bargain when you think of all you're getting. Essentially, 9 dice shooting at 8 inches of range. You can move and shoot in the same turn, so with a 3-inch movement, technically that's 11 inches. So 9 dice at 11 inches, all 9 dice are +1, and any natural 6s you roll explode into more dice. I mean, are you kidding me? These guys are competent in close range. And by competent, I mean, you know, not the best. They do have 2 dice a figure. And that's pretty much it. They do have a +2 initiative, which is okay. So they have basically the combat profile of like a swordsman unit, but without the parry defensive ability. So they're not afraid of a little melee, but they super excel at range. 9 dice, all +1, 6s explode. I mean, come on. 5 points? That seems insane. All right, folks, that's where we're going to wrap it up for Mercenary Crossbows. Thank you all so much for watching. I do truly appreciate it, and until next time.